Good evening and welcome to the second annual Youth Speak Out. We're really glad you're here this evening. It shows that you care about our youth, and our community, your community. We want to thank, I'm Sandy Crawford, I'm with Drug Free Alton, and we'd first of all like to thank John Hentrick and Riverbender for hosting our Youth Speak Out this year. We held it at the high school last year, and our youth have been working on issues that not just at their schools, but in their communities. So we thought this was a great place to host our second annual Youth Speak Out. We'd also like to thank Heartland Baptist Church. They graciously fed our high school students today. After school, they were just able to walk over to the church and had a delicious dinner, and they've been working on their presentations for quite a while. So we'd also like to acknowledge some of our local officials who are here. Emily Hania from the Alton Police Department, James Gagan from the Madison County Sheriff's Department, and Mayor Mike McCormick from Godfrey Township. And I'd like to invite the Alton Mayor, Brant Walker, to welcome you here also. Thank you, Mayor Walker.
Good evening. What a tremendous night. I just left the Alton Boys and Girls Club. They're having their annual event. It was crowded. It's wonderful to see all the Alton High School kids here, so it's just tremendous to see how much actual support this community has for our youth, not only from when they're younger all the way up through high school. I would like to welcome you to the second annual Alton Speak Out, Youth Speak Out. I would really like to, if we could get a big round of applause for the Drug Free Alton Coalition and Alton High School for partnering this event. This is tremendous. I don't remember this when we were growing up, having the youth actually be able to talk to the high school or actually be able to partner with community leaders and present their ideas about changing our community for the better and how they see it. The truth is, actually, the kids we're going to talk here tonight really are our future. You might not think 10 or 15 or 20 years is a very long time, but I have a daughter that's going to be a junior in high school. What they say does matter. Their voice has as much right to be heard as your voice has a right to be heard. So I think it's very important that we listen, and I think it's tremendous that we have an opportunity to listen to them, and we do have communities here. Mayor Godfrey's here, we have the police department here, we have the school district here. It's just phenomenal, and we have partners like Mr. Hentrick that open up his building to let these kids have an opportunity to say how they feel. I definitely look forward to hearing what these kids have to say and see how maybe we can implement it into what we're doing in the community and how they make a difference. So again, as the mayor of Alton, I couldn't be more proud of what's going on here in Alton tonight, what's going on in Godfrey with the Alton Boys and Girls Club. It's just a tremendous night. So, and I really want to thank the kids too, because to get up here and speak is not easy. So I know when some of you maybe get a little tongue-tied, don't worry about it, because it's not easy to get up here and say how you feel. So let's give them a good round of applause, support them, and really listen to what they have to say. Thank you guys very much.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for coming. I'm Emily Mang with the Drug Free Alton Coalition. I help coordinate that group. So now we're going to take the time and introduce our students, and then we'll begin the actual presentation from the students.
Hello, I'm Kavrin Riddle. I am in 11th grade, and I am the president of Power of Peers.
I'm Sophia Rodriguez. I am vice president, and I am a junior.
My name is Jessica Borman. I am a junior, and I am the secretary of Power of Peers.
My name is Baron Grosheim. I am a senior at Alton High School and a member of Power Peers.
A very important member.
I'm Claire McDowell. I'm a member, and I'm in 11th grade.
I'm Autumn Moore. I'm a freshman, and I'm just a member of Power of Peers.
They're not just members. This group of kids have come to every meeting for the last 3 months and not have missed one meeting to plan this event. They are all very, very important. Okay, we can get to the next slide, please. I just wanted to introduce kind of what we mean and what we do about the Youth Speak Out. Last year we felt like it kind of got lost a little bit. But the reason why we're doing this, the structure of a Youth Speak Out, the youth up here, you guys out there, is to just get their creative ideas out from their perspective, to be informed and with ideas from them that will expand the community with us talking with community members and with the youth. So the youth role is to just be up here giving their ideas, their solutions. So not just saying, well, we don't have this and we don't have that, but actually present solutions to those answers or to those problems and issues. And your role tonight would be for us is just to listen, explore these ideas, create these partnerships. Maybe you'll go home tonight and think about, oh, maybe I could help out with something like that. So just to be a listener and a creative listener, and then somehow maybe kind of come up with a way to partner with the youth or with our coalition. Since the last Speak Out, we have had some progress. One of the things that came out last year was they did want more teen events. Now, there were teen events. We're going to talk a little bit more about that later. The students will. But something that they did impactful was right after the event, they collected over 100 names at the high school saying that 100 students' names supporting a teen night here at Riverbender. They were also recognized in the state by Subrent Goodman Institute. It's a statewide leadership training. And they were recognized that not only did they create a work plan for advocacy, but they also implemented it, and they implemented it well. The campaign and social host and town hall, that are some of the initiatives that we're doing with the Drug-Free Alton campaign. And the things that they're doing are things that community people do and adults do, and they actually are understanding it and implementing it. I do have an example. We've worked with Riverbender here with graphics and with some other coalition members. And so they'll see these hanging up in the high school, and the high school has been gracious enough to let us come in there, post these up, and have the students explain not only is this a poster hanging on the wall, but what it means. And these students here, have really, really understand that and have made an impact on that. Our seller server training, they've come up with some creative ideas on helping us out with that, and really honoring those people that don't sell to minors. And they have some really, really great ideas, and we'll talk some more about that tonight, but they have started the process of that. Our data shows our youth take the Illinois Youth Survey every 2 years. And so we took it in 2012, and then we took it in 2014. And our data are showing our numbers for substance abuse are going down dramatically. We are seeing a great trend going down. Now, if you want these exact numbers, that's something we do at the coalition. So please come to a coalition meeting and we can discuss this, we can look at this further, but just to let you know that those numbers are going down. Now, they're still high in certain areas, but they are going down. We are seeing that decrease. So what that means is all these efforts that we're doing, this comprehensive approach with the schools, with the city, are really, really making an impact on drug prevention in our town. So, all right, so I'm going to hand it over to Sandy.
As Emily said, these youth have been trained and have been working at advocacy, and not just at their school level, but at the community level. Some of them did go to the Severn Goodwin Teen Institute in Northern Illinois and learned advocacy skills. They also had a training at the high school presented by one of a local Alton youth on advocacy skills. And they've looked at issues hard, they've worked, they've had to deal with some challenges. The Power of Peers group has had changes this year. They lost their beloved sponsor who is here tonight, and I know they all want to thank, as we do, Kristen Grant for shepherding this group for the last several years. And it's difficult with young people's schedules to get everybody together. As Emily said, this group has been loyal, they've been devoted, they've shown up, they've really followed through. Some of our young people in the Power of Peers have work demands this evening, some have the musical practice demands, so it's difficult to get everyone here, but they also wanted to represent a diverse group from the school, and they did a lunchtime survey and from just the general school body as well. So a lot of this information that they're sharing tonight is not just from these students here, but also represents the comments and survey material that they received from the broader population at the high school. So I think with that being said, we'll move on to the next slide, which is our first topic of mental health.
In the greater Alton area, students feel as if bullying and mental health issues are often not addressed and are key reasons students start to abuse alcohol or other drugs. Why? Mental health has a very big stigma. It's a very taboo subject, and lots of times it's kind of pushed aside and ignored, and that is something that definitely needs to change, and it needs to be talked about more so people understand it better. Access to confidential counseling is nearly impossible. To go to a counselor, you have to have parental permission, and it often costs lots of money that some families do not have. And there should be some sort of access to free and confidential counseling to students. Bullying is a confusing issue for adults. Lots of students receive conflicting information on how to deal with bullying from different adults. They're told that they should stand up for themselves. They're told that they should go to an adult first. They're told a billion different things they can do, and there needs to be a more unified way to deal with bullying. Students need more trusted adult mentors. Lots of students feel that they don't have anyone to talk to, and that is something that we have seen in our surveys. Lots of people feel that they can't talk to their parents or anyone at the school because they feel that it will be ignored.
The media normalizes drug use as a coping skill, especially with mental health problems such as depression and anxiety. If you go on the internet, and there's numerous TV shows that use drug use and alcohol use as an alternative for getting professional help. Students do not have adequate skills to deal with stress. I am a junior. I deal with so much stress. I know that you're like, oh, she's a kid, she doesn't have stress. Yes, I do. And I don't really know how to deal with it. And having the ability to deal with it can help so many people with so many issues. And people who tend to have bullying behaviors need help too. When I was bullied in middle school, my parents told me that he probably had some issues, some self-esteem issues and things like that, and that I needed to be sensitive to that as well. And I think if that message gets across, then the people who need help can get it.
What solutions can we implement? A big one would be training faculty and staff on bullying intervention and mental health issues. This is a big one that we also spoke about last year. There's a great program called Mental Health First Aid, which is made for teachers and faculty at schools, and it trains them on how to deal with different mental health issues and bullying in students so they can better understand it and help their students. Another one is seek opportunities for students and teachers to work together on the topics. More classroom discussion, and maybe even an assembly at the schools that wouldn't just be somebody standing up and talking to all the students. We need more discussion. And teen and family focused resource guides for our area. This would be anything from a booklet to something on your phone that would have things like information on counselors where you can get help, suicide hotlines, any other information you would ever need on mental health and bullying, and a list of resources.
Develop a support group for students. We did a survey a couple weeks ago in our lunch hours, and many of the students wanted to see a peer group that was just pure support. It wasn't really led by any adult where it would be like, hey, do this, do this, do this. It's like, no, we know what you're going through and we are here to help you get through that because we were there too. Add violence prevention and stress management into curricula at both high school and middle school. Like I said before, myself and many of my fellow students, we are under an immense amount of stress, and we would love to learn how to safely and easily deal with it without putting ourselves and those who love us in immediate danger.
And our last solution is a pro-kindness campaign, which would be something similar to the Get Infected with the Truth campaign we have now, but focused more on anti-bullying, and I will talk about that more later.
Thank you, ladies. After each student gets through their slides and things like that, I did put note cards in each of your folders. If you could please write down any ideas or any questions after each slideshow is done, we'll have 2 members over here on the left from the coalition that will come around and collect them and be looking for them. And then I'll collect those answers or questions and read them at the end to the students. So just if you had anything to think about on these last slides, anything you'd like to add, any questions, just take a moment and write something down on that note card.
In the greater Alton area, alcohol is the most widely abused drug among youth. And some of the reasons why are parties, I know, is a big one. You hear about them all the time where students go out and they're like, man, I want to get so messed up where I can't even remember what happened last night. And that is a very negative message. And like with mental health, people often use alcohol as a way to kind of not remember what happened the night before, so they don't have to worry about it in their choices. And with parties, it's easier to get alcohol by friends that are older than you that can buy it for you. And really some parents leave it out, they don't lock it, and it really opens the door to some really negative things like drinking at parties. And also that kind of ties into with it's easy to get, because if it's just sitting at your house, you can grab it. And yeah, those are my reasons. I kind of got ahead of myself and mixed it all together. Sorry.
Teens turn to alcohol to feel stress-free and hang with other teens. Like Sophie already said, lots of people think you have to do it to have fun. They think it's a fun social thing to do, but alcohol is never necessary to have fun or to go to any party. Don't feel pressured to use alcohol.
Some of the solutions we can implement are educating adults about the harms and legal risks of providing. I know that there is a law that's recently been imposed with the providing alcohol to those in your household or that aren't in your household, but they still come in. This is really important. We need to help people understand that there are consequences for providing to youth. It's never good, and it can be harmful in many, many ways. We can promote awareness through community events, kind of like this one, except maybe, I know National Night Out is really good for that. You can hang posters all around there and maybe have someone come in and talk about it, which would really be helpful. And I'll pass it to you.
Another thing with the promoting awareness, a big thing that we would like to do is have a zombie 5K, which would be a 5K run where you get chased by zombies, which would tie in perfectly with our Get Infected with the Truth campaign, which is a zombie-themed campaign. Number 3 is talk with businesses about where alcohol is stored. Alcohol is very often just in the middle of an aisle right next to chips and snack food, which is where lots of teens frequent the most, and it's just right there. Chips are here, you turn around, and there's giant bottles of wine, and that is very poor placement. And we need to promote businesses who do not sell to minors, give businesses that have never had any record of ever selling to minors more spotlight, more advertisement.
All right, guys, the next topic that we have here is not much to do for Alton High School students. In the greater Alton area, kids, youth, specifically high school students, and the freshman, sophomore college students have reported that there's not much to do for them to do, which can lead to experimentation with drugs, alcohol, and other risky things. Why? Students don't always feel safe at public spaces, such as parks, areas, recreational stuff. Most of them have poor lighting and Just it's difficult to see things. Yeah. There's a lack of affordability for places to be physically active. That's besides going and being active in sports and stuff, so such as like gyms. More events for just teens. There's not a lot of them. It's just a fact. They feel discouraged from going to church events if it's not their own church. Lots of church within the local area. This is a very Christian area, Baptist, Catholic, I don't know, of all these different denominations, and yet lots of them have events, and you rarely ever see kids from other churches, groups coming to these events. Next slide. Next question is, what solutions can we implement? First one we have up there is clean up, restore, monitor parks. This, like I said, there's poor lighting in these areas. They would really need some better lighting. Also, better upkeep. Usually, I've noticed that places like, I'm trying to think of examples, I can't think of any on the top of my head, but they need better upkeep, like the care of the landscape. The grass needs to be taken care of. There's trash everywhere. It's poor, dangerous playground equipment as well. Lots of it's been outdated and is rusty, sharp corners. And it also needs regulated monitoring, such as possible police patrols or something along those lines. Second point up there, weekend events for just teens. Teens usually include the ages of 14 to 18 years old. I would like to say that we did try this last year, Riverbender Community Center. We did these things called high school nights. It was a great idea, but there were a couple problems with it. Just like there was poor advertisement. Not a lot of teenagers knew about it at the high school. If you asked somebody, hey, did you hear about that high school nights? They would have said, what's that? Also, it was kind of bad timing. They never had them on a Friday or Saturday night. It was always on a Thursday night, which is just about in the middle of the week, and most kids are, it's a weekday, so they're not planning on going out before the next day of school. Lots of them study for tests, which are held on Friday. Also at Riverbender Community Center, though it is a very cool place, I think personally, it's often viewed as a place that specifically targets middle schoolers, and lots of high schoolers just see it as that. So they see it as being off limits to them. So things that we can do, teens like things that are popular to them, things that they like, and they also like cheap stuff. So some possible ideas that I had, we could probably try to work with local businesses, restaurants, hold certain events. I know that a place where I work, Shivers Frozen Custard, during the summer they're going to be having bands there, which on Friday nights, which should attract some business, but that might also attract teens that might do something otherwise on Friday night. Also, something else we could do, work with maybe Eastgate on coordinating movie nights specifically targeted for teens. They would be able to have popular teen movies and releases that are newer, not older. And for teenagers, it would be at a discounted price, which is less than the price that is usually given. A larger idea would be something along the lines of a teen/young adult nightclub. Now, this would be for, I know most people think nightclubs, drinking, partying, ecstasy, drugs, but that wouldn't be the case with a teen/young adult nightclub. It would specifically be for ages 14 to 20. And the reason why it'd be pushed to 20 is because of the fact that if you just leave it at 14 to 18, you still have those kids that are freshmen in college, sophomores in college, that just got out of high school, so they wouldn't be able to no longer come to this place, but they would be hanging out with older people and therefore would be more likely and exposed to alcohol, drugs, so on. This would be a place where kids and teens could dance. Lots of kids like to dance. That's why prom, homecoming, stuff like that is so popular among teens. Kids love it. And it's a lot of